Good morning, everybody. This is Derek Eklum over here at Foundation Software, and I'd like to welcome everybody to this month's edition of our Client Sales webinar series, where we like to focus on some of the new and upcoming features and products that we have here at our company. And today's topic, as you can see, is our CrewHQ product. Now, CrewHQ is actually part of a larger platform. It's part of our Project HQ platform. I'll kind of go through some of the basics on that. But what I'll do is I'll go through a short presentation. It shouldn't take us too long here this morning, and then I'll turn it over to you guys to see if you have any type of questions on CrewHQ. So with that being said, let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So like I mentioned, CrewHQ is actually part of our larger Project HQ platform. Now the screen that you're looking at here, this would be the main home screen for Project HQ. Now, if you don't need all the features that are found in Project HQ, which get into things like change order management, RFIs, submittals, commitments, field reporting, it's a true web-based project management platform. If all you're looking for is a way to schedule and dispatch your jobs, that's where CrewHQ would come into play. So whether you want a standalone or as part of a larger package, we can kind of fit either of your needs. But here on the screen, what I want to kind of focus on here this morning is in the middle part here where it has project schedule. So on the main overview screen, this is where you can always jump around between different projects and just kind of get an overview of what you have out there. Like you can see the Turnpike job has, mobilization, excavation, and dig footers all scheduled for this month. Now over on the side, excuse me, there's the different subsections within Project HQ. So there's the home screen, which is what we're currently on. There's the project screen, which is where you're going to be doing most of your document management. I kind of mentioned, change orders, purchase orders, subcontracts, RFIs, submittals. That's what you get into here. But what we're going to be talking about more today is this schedule area. So this is CrewHQ. So yeah, it's fully web-based, tablets and smartphones. Of course, project managers are always in and out of the office on the go. They can't dedicate a certain amount of, I'm sure if you were to ask a typical PM, hey, I need you to come into the office sometime and give me a date when you can come in here and fill out this or that, they're really going to have no idea. They're all over the place. It's kind of hard to tie them down. So products like these, CrewHQ in the greater Project HQ allow your PMs while they're on the go, through their phone or tablet or computer, if they're on a laptop or whatnot. They can log in and do what they need to do, while they're out there on the jobs. Now the main screen here, by default, it goes to the project view. You can also toggle between employee views, equipment views to see, where your different resources are at, for that particular time frame. And then if you look over towards the upper right, there's just an easy refresh button, but then next to that is a way where if you needed to filter out, specific projects, or you wanted to filter out certain employees or certain equipment items, you can always do that. And then next to that is the ability to, pick certain date ranges. My default is always on month. Maybe yours is week, or maybe even day, depending on how you schedule your projects, how large they are, how long your tasks take. That's where that can come into play. And then next to that is just adding a task. Now your tasks, you can see right here, I kind of focus on this one. If I hover over that, it gives me some of the breakdowns. So right at a glance, I kind of get some nice colors, get the description. But then if I hover over that, it gives me the main details on that task. The description, the start time, the end time, employees, equipment items. And let me hop into one. I'll kind of go through what is involved with a task. So on a task, you have the description, you have the color, you can always color code it, you can attach an icon to maybe make it a little bit more unique on your schedule. There's project, and then you have your start time and or start date and end date. Next to that would be the start time and end time. So depending if you need times or if you just need dates, I know some companies schedule out a little bit differently where they might be doing two jobs in one day. That's where you can kind of get into the time frame. And then you have the who is it created by, who is it scheduled by, and then there is a place where you can enter in a % complete, which is just informational, but it's just something that's nice to have. Underneath that, there's category and tags. So those are ways where you can attach just different categories for tasks, custom designed tags, which are helpful on reports. We are currently in development on another phase that's going to be added to CrewHQ. Unfortunately, I don't have my hands on it, but we did have a meeting earlier today kind of going through all the different features, and there's quite a bit. So these categories and tags will be coming into play with that, but mainly they're going to be used for driving different criteria on reports. Now, across the top, and that update, by the way, is scheduled to be released by next week. So anybody taking a look at this webinar that you're maybe interested in signing up on this, you'll have all the new features. And before we get off the phone, I'll do my best to kind of go over a lot of those features that are coming down the pipeline here. Location. So this is where you can establish the location for the task. By default, it pulls the address in the job. But if you needed to override that because there's this task is off-site, or there's a meeting off-site, something like that, that's where that would come into play. And then for resources, this is where you can schedule your employees or contacts. So that could be anything from customers, architects, subcontracts would be another one, equipment items, even material items if you do have those. But basically, you can schedule out your resources. And for your employees and your contacts, it would send an email or a text notification to them, letting them know where they're supposed to be going. And one big key on one of the big updates that's coming out that I just mentioned is not only will the employee be able to just receive an email or text alert, but they'll also have a link that they can click that will open up their entire schedule for them, so they can look to see what they have this week, or basically whatever they have scheduled for them. They can review that. So I know that's always something that a lot of our customers are looking for. So the resources tab is a big one, of course. Assigning employees, and that'll lead into sending out notifications. Dependency. This is a feature that's also coming on an update, but you can kind of probably guess what's going on here. You have predecessors and successors. If there's predecessor tasks, successor tasks, is there lag time? And that's all going to build out the critical path. So you'll have little arrows next to your tasks and kind of walking down the steps on that path for you. So dependency. Budget. So this is where you can tie your cost codes to your tasks. Moving forward, we're going to kind of add some enhancements with this as well, by being able to default in your job budget to make those tasks. Or if you're working in a different place here in Project HQ, if you have the full suite, there's a different screen you can go to that just might be a little bit more user-friendly, I guess more intuitive, because it's in one place. It's in the same place that you'd be doing change order management, commitments, those types of documents. But yes, nonetheless, you'll be able to tie your budget to your tasks. And then lastly, you have notes here. You can see there's a little spell check there. I spelled perimeter wrong, but if you want to type in a little note that would need to go out with the email or text notification, that can always come into play too. So that's what comes into play with the tasks. So building out the tasks, scheduling out the tasks, it'll send out a email or text notification to your employees. And a quick question I did see over here on the side is, is this linked to your foundation database? Yes. Yep, this definitely is. So the entire platform, Project HQ, is linked back to your foundation database. So specifically through the lens of CrewHQ here, jobs pull over, employees, vendors and customers can pull over as contacts, equipment items, inventory items if you have those modules, the budget information, that all would pull over from your foundation database. So that's what goes on here, actually building out the schedule. The other piece to show you, at least right now, is the report section. Not a whole lot from the reporting section. Like I said, we're working on a couple other more type of exception type of reports. But right now, you do have a couple of schedule detail reports. Like if I was to hop into one here, how all of the reports work is you have a criteria over here out towards the left-hand side where you can enter in the dates and select certain projects. You can always select certain employees or contacts. But then you can run that report, and then based on that criteria, pulls up that information that you can always print or save it as a PDF, export out to Excel if you wanted to. So reports are available here on the CrewHQ platform, along with everything really in Project HQ. And then going back to the schedule here, just a couple other things that I kind of remember from our earlier discussion here this morning on some of the future updates, and we're not talking distant future, we're talking next week. They're done. They're just ready to be released. They're kind of going through the final Q&A process. But there's going to be the ability to keep track of unassigned tasks. So maybe you have a project that you know that these tasks are going to be occurring, but you don't know when, and you don't know who's going to be doing them. You can always kind of preset the list, and it would be over on the right-hand side here. You'll be able to keep track of employees that called off or were sick or PTO, so that if they shouldn't be able to, be scheduled out, that can be kind of controlled through here through CrewHQ. So those are a couple of the big ones. I know there's a whole long list of other features that are coming down the line here, but those are the ones that kind of stuck out to me. The big one, I guess, that kind of goes back from this morning is employees being able to select a link and then see their entire schedule. So not just getting the email notification or text notification, but being able to click a link to see their entire schedule for a week or a month or however long that's out there. But that's CrewHQ. Yeah, it's like I said, pretty straightforward. If you're looking for a product to create a schedule, along with being able to dispatch out your employees, kind of keep track of where they're at, this might be something you might want to take a look at. And if you are interested in, I guess, how we price this or what goes on there, just feel free to reach out to me. My name is Derek. You can always give me a call. Phone number is 1-800-246-0800. Just ask for myself. I'm the only Derek here. Email is usually the best way to get in touch with me, just because I am on and off the phone pretty much all day long. My email address is dke@foundationsoft.com. And at this time, like I said, I'll kind of turn it over to you guys, see if there's any types of questions that you have here. I saw the one kind of going through. And while you're doing that, I just have a quick slideshow to zip through here. This is our only client sales webinar for the month here. So, yep, that is me and my mugshot there. There's my contact information one more time, if you are interested in how we do go about pricing this out. And it is a monthly fee. It does, loosely based on users. You kind of get a block of users, but if you do need additional users, that's always something that we can add. But COVID-19, yep, Omicron, that's the new variant that's out and about. So, it's still out there. So we still do have our COVID-19 resource page linked to our website. So check that out if you'd like to. This is our upcoming demo. I think we might have squeezed one more demo here. I want to say next week. Just bear with me. I'm going to pull it up here on my phone. So next week, this same time, we're going to be talking about our mobile field log application. That would be the one mainly for time cards. So that one just got finalized. That's why it's not on my spreadsheet here. But other products that are really resonating well with our client group right now is our SaaS or hosted service. So if you have Foundation installed locally on a server there and you're looking to outsource that whole side of it, reach out to us. We have a service there that can possibly help for you. And then mobile tools, the one on the left, that's the one that I'm going to be covering next week at this same time. So that's our mobile app for time cards and other items that come into play too, like equipment entry, things like that. Middle, that's e-access, which is an online portal for your employees to view their payroll information. Think electronic pay stubs. So that's, of course, very popular. And then over on the right-hand side, if you do service work and you have our service module, this is an app that you can add on that is more or less allows them to do a work order paperless. So like all these mobile tools, eliminates the paper, increases the efficiency. And then, of course, Project HQ, kind of mentioned that a couple times. That's the entire platform, document management, field reporting, now CrewHQ for scheduling and dispatching. This Executive HQ would be the field reporting. This is also part of that Project HQ platform. So I'm sure you'll be, if you haven't heard about this yet, you'll be hearing more and more really about everything with Project HQ. I know it's going to be a big push for us going into next year. We really haven't done a whole lot of advertising besides some of these little webinars here that I've been doing. So going into next year, I'm sure you're going to be hearing quite a bit about that. And if you haven't heard, we do have a sister company called Payroll for Construction that is essentially outsourcing your payroll. So if you'd like somebody to handle your taxes and direct deposits, and making sure all your filings are all accurate, give us a call there. We can definitely give you a hand with that. And then as far as continuing education, in March we are going to be down in the Sunshine State, down in Florida, for our user conference. It's our first user conference offsite, so that'll be at a nice big resort down in Orlando. So it should be a great time of the year to get out of the cold weather if that's where you're located. So kind of check that out if you're so inclined. And then over on the right hand side is our consulting services. If you are in need of some additional training, or somebody new was hired to the office there and kind of needs some help on getting up to speed, we'd be able to give you a hand there too. And then as far as giving us some feedback, this would be a great way to do it. On software advice, leave a review for us. You can kind of see the link there at the bottom. We'd love to hear from you, good or bad. That's what I always say. It's always a learning opportunity. We'd love to hear from both. So just feel free to drop us a line there and let us know what your thoughts are. And there's my information one more time if you have any questions here on follow-up questions on the CrewHQ or pricing or anything like that. And at this point, I'll kind of turn it over to you. Looks like we do have at least a couple questions here. First question is, can this be automatically synced, or is it still a manual pull for jobs, employees, and equipment? So I guess when it comes to the entire Project HQ platform, there's a step where you go and you actually sync, and that pulls on all of your current jobs, employees, and equipment items. I guess jobs would typically be the ones that would happen the most. So I'd imagine if you come in and just, somebody does a quick sync maybe once a week, that would probably cover it. But yeah, that's where it does pull. So employees and equipment items, inventory items, that's probably not going to need to be synced over too often. Jobs hopefully need to be synced over quite a bit, because that just means you have a lot of jobs going on. But yeah, if you do them once a week, or I guess even once a day, it only takes a second to press a button. And I guess kind of the big thing there is if you look out and this is why we're really excited about Project HQ altogether, is if you look out in the marketplace, there's really no web-based project management products that directly integrate to accounting platforms. So we're pretty much the only one, at least in our market, in the construction industry, from whatever, 5 million to 100 million, those type of companies. I'm sure if you get into the larger companies, there might be some options there that are well more expensive than what we charge, but that's why we're excited. It's a good price, or a good product at an honest price. It's not going to break the bank for most of our customers. And then a follow-up question there. HCSS is not an accounting platform, just throwing that out there. So yeah, from an accounting package standpoint and a project management standpoint, Foundation and Project HQ are the only ones that I know of that do integrate and talk together. And then there's another question here. Does the schedule link for time cards for payroll? No, that's a little bit different. So this CrewHQ would be a scheduling and dispatching tool. The mobile application that I'm going to be covering next week, that is designed for time cards. So kind of different things. Maybe down the road, there's going to be an integration between the scheduling and dispatching and the time card side of it. That's kind of to be determined. I'll hang on here just a couple more minutes to see if there's any other questions. And if you do think of anything out after the fact, even if it's something that's completely unrelated to what we talked about today, I'd be happy to give you a hand or get you in touch with somebody that can give you a hand. But I'll hang on a couple more minutes to make sure everybody's got all of their questions answered. All right, I think we're all set. So you guys all have a great rest of your day, and if you're not busy the same time next week and want to learn a little bit about the mobile application, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, have a great holiday season, and we'll talk to you guys later. Thank you very much.